Convicted kidnapper Theodore Bundy is on his way to Aspen, Colorado, where he will stand trial for first-degree murder. In a surprise move this morning, Bundy told a Utah judge he did not want to fight extradition. Bundy is accused of murdering Karen Campbell of Dearborn, Michigan. She was vacationing in Aspen at the time of her death in January of 1974. Barbara Grossman has a report on today's brief court appearance.
Authorities of Pitkin County, Colorado, drove to Salt Lake City yesterday. They came by car because they suspected they may have an extra passenger on the way back. They were right. Bundy, who is serving a 1 to 15-year term at the Utah State Prison for his kidnapping conviction of Carol Durant, was brought into court early this morning. 2 months ago, when served with the murder papers, Bundy filed a writ of habeas corpus, meaning he was fighting extradition. Today, his lawyer asked 3rd District Judge Jay Banks to dismiss the writ. He did, and it was all over in 2 minutes. Why did Ted decide to waive extradition?
Well, he's confident that he can win in Colorado. He just didn't want to utilize the court system here to delay it, actually. He's confident he can go over there, stand trial, and win, and that's what he's going to do.
Did you expect him to waive extradition, or was that a surprise?
This quickly, I don't know whether it was really a surprise or something that we expected. You know, he had so many alternatives to go. We just came prepared for the hearing, and we didn't have it.
Bundy had a few things to say today also. In a statement released by Lubeck, Bundy said at first he chose to fight extradition because he wanted to help his lawyers with the appeal of his kidnapping conviction. He also feels the accusations made by the Pitkin County District Attorney have been grossly exaggerated and in some instances fictitious. Now, Bundy's confident he will be acquitted. Arraignment will be early next week, but the trial may not be for months. A public defender must be appointed because Bundy is out of money. And Colorado investigators say the lawyer will probably ask for delays while he studies the evidence. Barbara Grossman, Newswatch 2 at the Salt Lake Hall of Justice.
A pre-trial hearing for Utah kidnapper Ted Bundy continued in Aspen, Colorado today. Today, prosecutors tried to connect Bundy with the unsolved Utah murder of Melissa Smith of Midvale. Bundy is charged with the murder for the death of a vacationing skier in Aspen. Prosecutors want to introduce evidence from Utah crimes into the case. Bundy is fighting that move, and the hearing is to decide if the Utah information is admissible. Well, Bundy today told our reporter, Bill Brown, that its efforts by prosecutors show they are, in Bundy's words, desperate. And Brown will have a full report on that hearing tonight at 10 o'clock.
In Aspen, Colorado, the last couple of days, covering the pretrial hearing of convicted kidnapper and accused murderer Theodore Bundy. He has just returned and has this special report.
Bundy is accused of murdering this 23-year-old woman, Karen Campbell of Dearborn, Michigan. She came to Aspen to ski in early 1975, disappeared from her hotel, and a month later was found beaten and strangled to death. The prosecution's case is not strong. To bolster it, they're trying to bring in evidence from Bundy's kidnapping conviction in Utah and evidence from the unsolved murder of Melissa Smith of Midvale. But the defense says legally it can't be done. Mr. Bundy, what do you think of the prosecution trying to bring in these outside crimes?
I think they're pretty desperate.
Well, I believe that Utah cases should be handled in Utah, and the Colorado case here should be handled on its own. If Utah believes they have some cases that they can prove, then they should file the cases and try Mr. Bundy in Utah.
Utah Highway Patrol Sergeant Bob Hayward arrested Bundy in Granger after Carol Durant was kidnapped from the Fashion Place Mall in Murray. Hayward testified in Bundy's car he found a satchel. Inside it, a ski mask and a nylon stocking. This morning, Salt Lake County Sheriff's Detective Ben Forbes testified about the finding of the body of Melissa Smith near Parley's Canyon in October 1975. Hayward said she had a head wound and what looked like a man's sock tied around her neck. Obviously, the prosecution wants to tie Bundy to her murder, even though he hasn't been charged with it. Karen Campbell and Melissa Smith were attractive young women with dark hair. Carol Durant is a pretty young girl with dark hair. Both the murdered girls had apparently been hit on the head with a hard object. Ms. Durant claims Bundy threatened to hit her with a crowbar. The prosecutors claim these and other details show a pattern of similarity, indicating that the same person could have committed all three crimes. Later, Carol Durance will testify about how Bundy kidnapped her, giving details the prosecutors hope can be compared to what is known about the Smith and Campbell cases. This hearing may last into next week, and Judge George Lohr's decision may come sometime after that. Bill Brown, Newswatch 2, Aspen.
Besides Bill Marcroft, Reese Stein,